I like it because I'm free to do what I want as long as I don't make too much noise. You could stay in your room and write, writer. You could do your art with Paul and myself. I even do some singing, and I don't have to go anywhere. I could have a fridge full of food. I could bathe every day and cook. So it gives me the time to do my projects without having to go having to be woken up at a certain time or anything like that. Independent living, okay, that's the most important part. It's not like for, there's no drugs allowed, but you can do what you want, basically. It's not based on being clean. So it's being able to do what you want and people respect your privacy. So that's the independent living part that I like about the doing.
What I enjoy about the independent part of living is, as I said, I love my pink bathrobe and cooking and having my stove because I love to cook and I love to write. Until I met my husband, I had put down my ink pen and I'm a poet. And when I met him, I had do nothing but write all the time now. I love to be able to be free. If I don't want to answer my door, I don't have to. Okay? If I want to keep my door, and I love my building because I leave my door open 24/7. Okay? And I don't have the problem with worrying about somebody coming in and taking my computer. So I love the independence. Just the key thing. And then the management we have awesome management, case managers, and counselors for us, for whatever issue I may be going through at that time. Because I'm twisted. So sometimes I need to talk to somebody, and there's a lot of staff on board that is there to help me, because I used to, if I got a letter in the mail, that's another thing, the mailbox, having a key to your mailbox. I used to panic if I got a letter with a letterhead. I would have a panic attack and just freak out. And they would have to take me in the back and sit me down and calm me down because I would just start hyperventilating and I would just almost fall out, okay? Because I was so scared that whatever was in this letter was going to be bad news. That's what happened the day I got my letter saying I was going to be an ambassador. I got this letter, oh no, from Skid Row. What do I do now? What are they going to tell me I got to move for? And I'm getting ready to panic, and it says, we'd like to inform you that you have been, we cordially, that you're an ambassador. An ambassador? What is an ambassador? I don't want to be an ambassador. And I didn't understand. And then the lady next to me, she got the same letter, but they were denying her. And she was mad. She said, you got to be an ambassador. I just filled out the form just on a whim. My husband said, go ahead, Teresa, they would love to have you. I'm like, yeah, sure. And when I got the letter, that's when I realized, I don't have to panic anymore. Because number one, the staff is not going to just put me out. Okay? They're going to try to find a way to help. Okay? If I'm short on my rent, I go to my management. I can talk to them. We can work out something. If I fall back into my addiction, I can go to my drug counselor. He can put me in a 30-day program. keep my apartment, I'm still okay. Okay? See, it's things like that when you realize that these people are really trying to help me. I love that. That means a whole lot to me. I have to cherish that.
I'd like to add something else to my answer. Teresa, you've seen the attic, okay? And it's a very nice building, support services are there, and I like the design. It's brand new. I live in what they call a moderate rehabilitation Section 8 program. That's where they take old hotels, like maybe 100 years old, and then they put a new face, a retrofit, and make it look like a modern apartment, which is great. But it's not the same as the attic. You're going to have things that are going to start to go out. So I wish I lived in the attic, but I am happy about the deal because the property managers and the facility managers are doing the best they can to fix whatever problem we have. So they're pretty prompt at it, and I've established a rapport with them now, so that if I do have a problem, they are definitely sensitive to my needs. So that's what I like about the deal.
How has your day-to-day differed since obviously your obligations on the street would be different than what you now have in the apartment? You don't have to worry about having to find a bathroom, so how is like your schedule? What has the new housing kind of changed your day-to-day needs?
It's allowed me to do some things that I've always wanted to be an artist or a painter artist. So that's why I became a house painter, so that I could learn how to mix the paints together. And when since I was injured, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, what am I going to do now that I can't go back to painting houses and climbing ladders and carrying heavy boards, doing carpentry. And I've always painted because that's my first love. And I said, oh wow, what now? I can actually paint now in my room, and I have a collection of paintings. So that's really what's changed for me. I'm actually able to do something I wanted to do. But it actually set my whole life up to do. I actually do it.
I have a second chance now to start a second career. So my day-to-day is going full-time to school. So I have all the transportation here to get there, by the train or the bus right here in downtown. I get financial aid for going to school to get my degree. It's also given me a creative outlet of actually doing music, writing plays. It's given me purpose. That's what right now is what I enjoy, and that's what my day-to-day is now. I don't dread going to work every day, trying on food or anything like that. So it's a big difference.
I found that just the apartment is able to get me back into my spirituality. And it is able to let me do, because a lot of years on the street when I was in my addiction, I had dropped off from my devotions in the morning. And I would always thank my Father in heaven, but I would never give him his glory like he deserves. And now in the morning, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I can wake up and sit as my coffee percolates and do my devotion and feel the love and the grace and the mercy of a loving God that he has poured out on my life. Because as in my story, most of you have the newsletter, you'll know that my nose was cut off a couple years ago in one of the apartments, and I was lucky to survive that. After being that, I survived just the streets alone, and I'm HIV negative. So come on now, what are your odds, and how good can God be to you? Okay, So, me, myself, my devotion is a big thing with me, my spirituality, and serving at my churches. And I started school last week. So, I don't know about that, but I started. Well, I've been trying to, you know, every year I find an excuse not to go. And last week when the school started at 12:30, I started a great big argument with my husband, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, honey, it's not working this year. Take your butt to school." So, I mean, because I was going to have the argument with him and not go to school because I was mad, you know. I didn't know I didn't go because you and I were fighting, you know. Do that kind of thing.